G'day everyone, it's John from Jack Sarge Painting here with some cool new miniatures which I've just finished recently painting. Great fun they were too. As normal, there'll be some stills at the end of the video if you're more inclined to just want to look at the stills and not hear me blather on. It's up to you. Now the miniatures, to the best of my understanding, all these miniatures are available from North Star. Now, North Star Military Figures in the UK. And I painted these up for a guy I know up in Queensland who has a most wonderfully eclectic collection of miniatures, but it means, if I paint some stuff up for him, I get to see all sorts of things I wouldn't normally come across my desk, so it's great fun. So I'll give you a bit of a lowdown on what we've got here. So these couple of guys, these sort of Old West type characters, let's see if I can get some better focus on them. I believe they're Crusader types from Dracula's America, I think. So I've painted them up. They're a little bit painted in a different scheme on the website. I've gone for like a really blackened armor. They've got like an English Civil War era sort of breastplate and things. And I've gone for a really super silvery cross on the chest, because often with vampires and werewolves and, you often have to combat them with silver bullets and silver crosses and whatever, all this sort of silly stuff. So yeah, I thought blackened armor, using my usual method of blue and black washes and stuff like that, and a bit of pencil down the bottom there, and then really bright silver on the cross, and then just contrasted with their sort of lighter duster coats in two different sort of buffy beigey brown sort of shades. They're quite cool. So I don't know what he's going to use them for, whether he's playing Dracula's America or not, I'm not sure, but great fun. This figure, which is quite a famous figure, I've seen it so many times, and I'm not 100% sure who's is it a Mark Cobblestone figure? It might be, or a Lead Adventure Forum. I know I've seen it on Lead Adventure Forum, but it's a real pulpy kind of sea captain miniature, not as chunky as some of these others at the back, but beautifully sculpted, full of character. He's got his little gold earring, painted him with a little sort of 5 o'clock shadow using a bit of a thin glaze of German field grey, and he looks rather dapper in his navy blue jacket, his off-white trousers, painted with deck tan and then brought up with gradually lightened with a really light ivory to an almost white, but not quite pure white. So he's a great fun one. And then we've got some more Silver Bayonet characters. Okay, so let's see if we can get focus on there. There we go. I think that's right. So we've got a Russian infantryman, Napoleonic infantryman. So we've got different sort of types of grey for the greatcoat and for his trousers, and a dull sort of darkish green for his cap with the red trim. Yeah, with this, the grey for the greatcoat, I used again that handy Scale 75 paint petroleum grey. It's a nice base for a different type of grey, a grey that almost has a bit of sort of wobbly cam, bit of purplish sort of hue to it, whereas the trousers are more towards a bluey greeny grey, I think. It's nice to have that difference. And I've given him, of course, a very silvery Orthodox style cross, and for some reason he's got an eye patch, so he's quite the character. And then we've got another There was one in the previous lot of silver bayonet miniatures I painted, but there's another French Imperial Guardsman. He's got his rifle slung over his shoulder. He's got a great big sword, made nice and shiny and silvery. And what else has he got? Oh yeah, he's got a bit of equipment on the back here. He's got his usual sort of typical backpack, and he's got a silver flask, a very shiny silver flask down here, probably of holy water for the silver bayonet. So yeah, another very characterful, fun miniature. And this Cossack type guy here on the end. Now the North Star website had him in a red shirt, but I thought I already got quite a bit of red in this little project, as you see over the back with the sort of steampunky British guys. So I thought I'll go for a Russian green, and then light coloured trousers for contrast, and then a nice bright red, a pop of red on the bag on his coal pack. I think is that a coal pack, that furry thing on his head. And again, he's got a very shiny silver cross to keep away the evil fiends. And some more, as appeared on some of the other silver bayonet miniatures, is a bag full of torches ready to be lit up, for blazing torches, for probably waving away and scaring away critters in the dark and things like that. So yeah, plenty of character, these miniatures. Great fun to paint, they really are. And so here we are. These other guys here are special British guys. Now I'm trying to think what range, whether they're from the North Star Steampunk or something like that. You could use them for, Majesty's Name, one of the gangs in there, I suppose, or something like that. But it's got all these sort of very, with the full dress of the late Victorian sort of uniform, with the grenadier guy with his bear skin, and then you've got some extra sort of character figures like these guys. Pretty. Now trying to get these in focus. So how's that? Nearly? Just about. Yeah, so you've got this guy with some sort of hand cannon thing going on. I don't know, for the life of me, I can't figure out how that would work. But anyway, he's got this sort of brassy, bronzy kind of cannon thing. Maybe it's a flame projector. I don't know. He's got goggles on, so maybe there's some. He's got them pulled up onto his forehead, and maybe there is some heat because he's got his gauntlets on, leather gauntlets, and a sort of like a smock, a tabard. I think he's some sort of engineer or pioneer or something. And this, perhaps this contains the missiles it fires or something like that, in this pouch back here. But I thought I'd paint him as a bit of a ginger guy. Or he's quite a sort of characterful looking miniature. That's for sure. And then you've got this officer here who has a cuirass. He's quite cool as well. Yeah, a nice sharp sword there. So yes, I'll just bring these red coats. You can get a better look at them. Yeah, so now for the reds, just in case anyone's going to ask, I thought I'd just keep them nearby so I could show you what I used to build those reds up. Okay, so I started with scale color deep red. That's SC35, I believe. Scale color deep red as the base, over which I apply like any sort of wash would do, whether it's a strong tone or an Agrax earth shade, or I happen to have an old one that I've had for a while. When that's run out, I'll have to come up with a homebrew. I think I've got a lot of washes that I'll probably mix together and make a murky colour out of in a bigger bottle. and then the wash layer, and then back in with this base color, and then the next highlight, I use Blood Red. That's SC36. Again, one of the scale color paints. And now the only guys had the really bright highlight. Let's put these back. So these are for the rank and file. But for this chap, the officer, he's also been brightened up with a further highlight of Antares Red. SC37. So you can see they're sequential. There is another even brighter red in that set. I've got it over on my rack. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, you can, make it pop even more if you wanted to, if it was appropriate for what you were doing. So yeah, the officers had that further highlight, that sort of scarlety, more towards the scarlet, the Antares red. So there, that's how I got the reds. Across the board, actually, I think I used it on all the different reds I was on these figures. Now for the whites, and there's quite a few like off whites and stuff here. I used a couple of different processes. Made good use as a base color of deck tan, and then so that's like say that sea captain's trousers and his hat. Let me think what else. The cuffs and the collars, I believe, on those British soldiers, and some other bits and bobs, like on the Imperial Guards and stuff. Started with the base of that, and then lightened it up gradually with ivory. So again, to not a pure white, but building out gradually to an almost pure white. Quite, as you can see, this ivory from AK Interactive from their 3rd gen is pretty light, but it's not a true white. It is, and I don't tend to use true whites. These go something like this, just off white. I think it looks better. So yeah, so that's for the whites, and then for the say all the strapping and stuff on the figures, the British and the strapping on the Imperial Guardsmen and the Russian and all that, all their they're strapping the cross belts and whatnot. That was based in this decomposed flesh was my starting color from AK. So that was my base, and then everything would have got the wash. And then I believe I went up on those straps and stuff. Next, I mixed in some, this is an old edition of a Vallejo. This is Vallejo model color. Don't just ignore the Flames of War thing. There was a time when Flames of War was rebranding Vallejo paints, sort of by agreement. But yeah, this is Vallejo model color buff. And so that was the next one, and then I went for this again for the final highlight on selective highlights on the cross belts and whatnot. Yeah, so that's to give you an idea. They're the sort of kind of triads that I was using. Hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, so that's them. As I say, photos will be next. Hopefully they'll turn out all right. I've had a slight delay in getting all this done because I upgraded my PC. Had to get it. I got a new PC, and I've had to find new. I'm trying to sort out new ways of editing photos, and my video editor that I used before is no longer available. So I'm going to try and figure all that out. So hopefully you will see this on YouTube, and I will have figured out how to edit videos with a different piece of software that doesn't cost me anything and doesn't, allows me to do what I want. Okay. The only other bits of news is I finished a unit of Brunswick Jaegers for the Peninsular War in 1/72. I probably won't show them. I don't know if there's a lot of interest in that. I'm happy to share it, or I could do a separate video about the 1/72 project. But I've picked up more figures for that, to not only maybe do another unit of Brunswickers further down the line, but at the moment I'm actually doing some Portuguese in 1/72 for the Peninsular War, and I'm just making a start on some of those, starting to block them in, and I've got some figures to use for that in plastic that are sort of paint conversions, and I'm going to do some other converting with head swaps and a bit of green stuff and whatnot to try to make them look, about right. So yeah, there's that as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and enjoy the pictures afterwards. Let me know if you've got any further questions, and you will notice in the community tab, if you look at those such things, they've taken off the bit about commission painter, because I'm not a registered business, and I do some painting for guys, but it's not a business really. I don't make enough money for it even to qualify for being taxed. It's so little over the course of the year, because I'm a slow plodding painter and I only have the one standard: what you see is what you get. And look, I prefer to keep it that way for me personally, just to go along at my own pace, and yeah, anything extra that comes along as a bonus. So yeah, all right guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.